It always starts the same way: you're driving smoothly, music playing, everything's fine. Then, suddenly, you see it. That red temperature light. Steam bursts from under the hood. Your car is overheating. But why does this happen? What causes your car to go from running perfectly to almost destroying itself in minutes? Today on Boontobust Auto, we're breaking down the rise and fall of your car's cooling system, how to fix overheating fast, and how to make sure it never happens again. To understand overheating, you need to know what keeps your engine alive: the cooling system. When your engine burns fuel, it creates an enormous amount of heat, sometimes over 2000 degrees Fahrenheit inside the cylinders. The cooling system's job is to move that heat away through coolant, the radiator, the fan, and back again. But when any one of these parts fails, heat builds up fast, and that's when the trouble starts. Think of it this way. Low coolant means there's not enough liquid to absorb the heat. If the radiator fan isn't spinning, you lose the airflow needed to cool the liquid down. A thermostat stuck closed traps the hot coolant in the engine, preventing it from reaching the radiator. And a clogged radiator is like a blocked artery: circulation stops, and the whole system overheats. Think of your engine like the human body. Coolant is the blood, the radiator is the lungs, and the thermostat is the heart valve. If one fails, the whole system suffers. Now, before your engine completely overheats, it almost always warns you. You just have to know how to recognize the red flags before it's too late. The most obvious sign is your temperature gauge climbing past the halfway mark. You might also notice steam or a sweet, burning smell coming from under the hood. A weird one is if your car's heater starts blowing cold air instead of hot. That is a classic sign of low coolant or a circulation problem. Also, keep an eye out for a puddle of bright green, pink, or orange liquid under your car when it's parked. That's a coolant leak. Finally, listen for a high-pitched squealing noise from the engine bay, which could be a slipping belt on the water pump. If you see or hear even one of these signs, you need to stop and act, because one small warning can prevent a massive repair bill down the road. Okay, so what if the worst happens? Your car starts to overheat while you're driving. Here's what to do right now and what not to do. First, immediately turn off your AC. Then, turn on your heater to full blast. It sounds crazy, but your car's heater core acts like a mini radiator, and turning it on will pull some of that dangerous heat away from the engine. Next, find a safe place to pull over and turn off the engine completely. Now for the most important part. Wait. Do not touch anything under the hood for at least 20 minutes, or until you see the steam has stopped. That system is under extreme pressure. Once it's cooled down, you can carefully open the hood. Here's a critical warning. Never, ever try to open the radiator cap when the engine is hot. The pressurized steam that erupts can cause severe burns instantly. It's just not worth the risk. Once it's cool, check the coolant level in the plastic overflow reservoir. If it's low, and you have a pre-mixed 50/50 coolant and water solution, you can top it up. These steps can save your engine from going completely bust, and might save you thousands in repairs. Now that the immediate danger is over, let's talk about fixing the real cause. Overheating usually comes down to one of 5 main culprits. Let's go through each one. First, low coolant or leaks. This is the most common reason. Look around the radiator, the connected rubber hoses, and the water pump for any signs of a leak. You might see crusty residue, drips, or a puddle underneath. The quick fix here is to replace the leaking hose or tighten a loose clamp, and then refill the system with the proper coolant. Second, a bad thermostat. This little part is designed to open and close to regulate coolant flow. When it gets stuck in the closed position, coolant can't circulate, leading to instant overheating. Luckily, replacing a thermostat is usually a cheap and straightforward job, but it's absolutely critical for your engine's health. Third is a radiator fan failure. If your fan doesn't kick on when the engine gets hot, especially in traffic, then your car can't cool down when it's not moving. This could be a bad fan motor, a blown fuse, or a faulty relay. The fix is to check the fuse and relay first. They're easy to replace. If that doesn't work, you'll likely need a new fan motor. The fourth culprit is a blocked radiator or dirty coolant. Over time, coolant breaks down, and can turn into sludge, which clogs the small passages inside your radiator. The fix for this is a coolant flush. You drain all the old, dirty fluid, clean the system, and refill it with fresh antifreeze. And finally, faulty water pump. The water pump is the heart of the cooling system, responsible for circulating the coolant. If you notice leaks near the pump pulley or hear a grinding noise from that area, the pump is likely worn out and needs to be replaced. Each of these issues can turn your reliable ride into a roadside nightmare, but fixing them is often easier than people think. So, how do you make sure you never have to deal with overheating again? It's all about prevention. Here's a simple checklist to follow. First, check your coolant level every couple of weeks. It only takes a second. Second, flush your coolant system every 2 years, or as your owner's manual recommends. This keeps the fluid fresh and the system clean. Also, regularly inspect your hoses for any cracks, bulging, or brittleness. They're made of rubber and will wear out over time. Keep the front of your radiator clean and free of bugs, leaves, and other debris that can block airflow. And finally, just make a habit of watching your dashboard temperature gauge. Remember, prevention is always cheaper than repair. A $5 coolant top-up can save you from a $5,000 engine replacement. Overheating is one of the most common car failures and also one of the easiest to prevent. Your car doesn't just break overnight. It gives you warning signs. You just have to listen to them. If this video helped you, hit that like button, subscribe to DriveSmart Repairs, and share it with anyone who drives, because you never know whose engine you might save. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.